Hi, Carlos and Sarai. Here's a review of all the testing that we did and some of the recommendations I came up with from what we found in your house. Simply stated, there's some things that you can do that will make the system work a lot better. And let's start off with the sizing of the equipment. So as you can see here, it's down here at the bottom. It takes 3.8 tons is all the house requires. Now you have a 5-ton currently. 5 tons a little oversized. By more than a ton actually. The great thing about the system that you purchased is that train unit, the HCL 5 train system, we size it. They only make two sizes, a 5-ton and a 3-ton. And then internally we can change a dip switch setting. Okay, so we can take it from a 3.8 to a 4-ton on that particular unit. 4-ton is going to work fine. The way we do it on these particular HCL5 units, this is a great system that you're getting. You're really going to love this system when it's done. But the way we do that is we use these dip switches. We can take and size the unit down by just changing these dip switches from a 5-ton unit to a 4-ton system. So if we take it from a 5 to a 4, just by changing these dip switch settings, we leave SA3 1 on and then turn off SA2. Now you can change this back later, but I suggest, my recommendation is that we go ahead and size it to a 4-ton and then run it this for a while and see how you like it. It's going to work fine. I think you're going to find anything different, except it's going to cost you less to run because of this. Okay, that being said, let's look at our airflow. So the airflow wasn't really that great. Okay, and here, this is the upstairs. I want to go over this real quick. First of all, realize that when I did this testing, there was no filter in the system. So a filter is going to reduce the amount of airflow we're going to have in the system. And that'll come, I'll bring that up later when we do the true flow grid report. Okay, but if you want to look at the system, let's look at the airflow in each of the rooms. Now, these little boxes, this part right here where it says 78 CFM, and then below is a little blue box. That CFM is the amount of air that's supposed to be coming out of that register. If the box is green, it means the airflow is right there within 10% plus or minus of what it's supposed to be. If it's blue, it means it's over that. It's too much airflow. If it's yellow, then it's too little airflow. And then if it's magenta, it means it's less than half. Luckily, your house doesn't have anything like that. But we did come up with some things. Remember when we were talking about we do the with the door open and the door shut. So let's just take this bedroom one up here. With the door open, we had 138 CFM. It's supposed to be 127, so it's actually over. It's 108%, which is great. That's fantastic. But as soon as we shut the door shut, DS, 84 CFM and only 66% of what it's supposed to be. Well, that right there is a problem because that should be, we want at least 90, 91, 92% or 100%. That's because when the door closes, we cut off the airflow to that room. The air, and I have a video. I showed you guys a video when I was there. I'll put a link to the video in the description for those people that are watching on YouTube. But that means that we're getting too little air. Now, if you notice, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, master bedroom, and bedroom 4 all had the same problem. Every time the door was shut, the airflow went down to below, in most cases, 70%, in some cases down all the way into the 50%, almost 50% of what it's supposed to be. How do you fix that? Well, as we discussed, we can put a crossover duct or a hop. We can either put a return air in each room and run it back to the unit, which gets very expensive because we're going to have a return air grills and all the way back. Each one has to have a filter. Or we just put a crossover duct in. Crossover duct just hops over the wall, and you got a register on one side, a register on the other side, and it allows the airflow when the door shut to hop over the wall and into the hallway where the return air is over here in the hallway upstairs. That works great, but there's another way we can do this. And I'll show you here in just a second. But before we do that, I want to show you the downstairs system, the problems we have there. So downstairs, with this bedroom downstairs, we have door open 110 CFM, supposed to be 154. It's only 71%. With it shut, it's down to 80% and 52% of what it's supposed to be. Now, the problem with that is, and this is where I don't think there's much we can do on this one because this is downstairs. There's no way I can get to the ductwork. It's underneath. It's going through chases. It's between floors. So I don't think we can fix this. We're just going to have to see how it comes out better. Hopefully we can push some air by doing some balancing with some dampers, and I'll discuss that here in just a second. and push air down that way, you know, to where it's needed the most. Okay, but let's look at the whole downstairs. Now this front area over here, the living room and dining room, and this had the big volume ceiling, went up 19 feet in the living room. Then it was a 9-foot ceiling in the dining room area. If you add these all up, even though you have two yellows here and then the dining room was blue, the two yellows are too little and the blue is too much. But if you add them all together, because this room is kind of all combined, it's there's no walls between them, then we're within 98% of what it's supposed to be. So these would be green if you divided the air between the three spaces. So this space is gonna be fine. The kitchen's a little bit of concern. Again, not much we can do over there because we're not pushing enough air down. I have to be able to force air. Now, of course, the family room was perfect, so that's really good. And the laundry room is too much air. Okay. Now downstairs we can't put dampers in the ducts, but we have a way we can get around that. We can take the register down, put a piece of duct board up inside, pookie it in, that is, seal it up in there, drill a couple little holes in it so we can balance the airflow coming into those rooms fairly quickly and inexpensively to these, because it's too much. If you wish to do that. We don't live in bathrooms. We don't live in laundry rooms. I have no problem dampering those down. You can also just shut the register. That will do the same thing, but usually it's a little pretty noisy. Some people can complain about it, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal if you do that. All right. That being said, let's go back to the other one here. Let's go back to the um, uh, down upstairs, and we're looking at this upstairs. There's a way we can actually put another grill in, a second return air, and I'm going to show you here in just a second. And then we can run ducts from we can have a register in each room, just a grill in these bedrooms, and then run the ducts back over to this new return air can, this big can that we have, the can up in the attic, and it'll all tap into one side, and then the duct going back to the unit goes to the other side, and then we put a filter in at an angle, and it allows that to filter the air going through there. Very easy to do. It's going to be the least expensive. That's a be cheaper for me to do that than to run just the crossover ducts. And I'm going to give you a cost in the email with this to you so you can see what it needs to be. So it's this would be the cheapest, best way to do that. And you should do this to make this, because you guys keep your doors shut in these rooms, and it's going to really help on the airflow when you do that. Okay. The other thing is we have to change that filter. That filter you had was filthy. Those filters need to be changed probably the one you had up there probably every 3 months. And the other one we're going to have is a pleated filter. I would suggest you actually go to a less restrictive filter in this grill and go to like a MERV 8 as opposed to the one you have, which is a little higher MERV rating on it. And that would give you still good filtration, and it won't be cheaper filter, and you don't have to change it as often probably, but you could go probably 6 months before changing that filter, but no more than 6 months. That filter hadn't been changed for quite a while. So let me show you how we do some other readings that we actually had out there. So we did the true flow grid reading, and I'll show you with problems here. So we only, now this is based upon the tonnage that the unit was. It's supposed to be 2,000 CFM. We're only getting 1,628 CFM, which is very low percentage. If we take 2,000, 1628 divided by 2,000, and we come up with 81%. So we're only getting 81% of the air out of the system. But that's actually all you need, because notice the load calculations. You only need a little over, under 4 tons. So 4 tons is 1,600 CFM, and you're right at that. So that's why it's been working okay. It's cooled fine. But we do have a very high static. See this total external static pressure of 0.771? We really want that to be around 0.5 on this particular unit. Now the new unit's got a higher static rating, so it'll work a little better. But one way to do that is add that extra turn. If we look at our next page here, it shows us on the test out that the supply ducts are undersized. And it says consider enlarging those. I don't think you need to, because this is based on the 2,000 CFM. I think we're going to be okay when the new unit size down to 4 tons. It says the filter size is too small for the equipment. And remember, we didn't have filter in there, so it's not the filter. It wasn't the issue. It's just the return ducts. So it says right here, return ducts may be undersized. Consider adding that extra duct. So this is a recommendation from the true flow grid this is kind of like AI for heating and air, and it's testing all the pressures, because that static pressure is like the blood pressure for your duct work, and it tells us that we don't have enough air. We've got restricted duct work, and it's on the return side of what we got. All right, so to fix that, we would add a second return. It's a box like this that would go at the ceiling and stub up into the attic, and we side tap that with the return air duct going back to the unit, and then all the other ducts attached to the other side. So here's the return going back to the air handler in the attic, and then all the other ducts will come onto this side and attach over here from the bedrooms. And then what we do is we can add a filter at an angle, and a filter would go inside the box at an angle, and it allows the filtration of the air through that box. And so you got a nice filter in here, just to have one other filter, and then the return grill, and it works great. You'll have a lot more surface area. It'll take down that restriction of airflow. All right, let's take a look at your duct leakage. So the duct leakage, we had 178 CFM at 25 pascals. And so what that worked out to, when you do that, is you take the 5-ton unit, which is 2,000 CFM, and you divide the 178 CFM by the 2,000, and then multiply by 100 to get your percentage, and it works out to 8.9% leakage. So your leakage is low. We don't have to do anything there. When we seal this, we may get this down to around 5%, which would be great for you, because less leakage there is less air that leaks out and less air that it sucks out of the attic. So it's just going to be a much more efficient system, and we're going to do that. That's included in the price and everything else. By the way, the duct system, let me go back here. So this is not included. I have to charge you more. This is all going to be included, sealing the ductwork, so that's not a problem there. Okay, now infiltration. We talked about that. That's the blower door test that we did. When we did the blower door test, we found that you had 357 CFM at 50 pascals. That equates out to 6.39 air changes per hour. Code today is below 5. If you're going to be an energy efficient home, it has to be below 5%, or below 2.5 air changes per hour. We're at 6.39 air changes per hour. Not too much, but we can do some things to fix that. There's not much room for the ductwork. This is a DIY project usually. We usually have the customer tell them, look, replace your door gaskets and your weather stripping, put foam gaskets behind all the lights and switch covers, and then caulk those seal the drop ceiling, or I'm sorry, the can lights at the ceiling, and so that will help a whole lot and get rid of a lot of that stuff. And this is a DIY thing. If we do it, we're going to charge you for it. And if you want a quote on it, I will give you a quote. It's going to be excessive of $800 to do the door gaskets, probably because you got 8-foot doors and 2 patio and some French doors. That's going to run up to probably close to $1,200 for us to do all this for you. You can do this for probably less than $300 yourself. It's kind of labor intensive stuff, and we sometimes have to adjust the doors. But just if you want us to give you a quote, we'd be very happy to do that part of it for you. All right, that being said, here's the recommendations we have for you. So my recommendations is you to do the DIY stuff. Install your gaskets under the switch and plug covers, install new weather stripping on all the doors, and then caulk your can lights. Option wise, what you probably should do is add that second return grill and all those ducts upstairs. That's going to take care of it. Set your unit to 4 tons. You can change this later. You don't need a 5-ton unit. We can always change it back to 5 tons. You're not going to need that. And then us balance the airflow. Now, balancing the airflow, I have to charge you for the dampers that we install. That'll be a little extra. And then, of course, I'm going to give you a quote here for adding that second return and that grill upstairs and the ducts over to it, and the grills in the bedrooms. Don't need it in all the bedrooms. You just need it in the ones that were not very good. That office was fine. It was all the other ones: your master bedroom, bedroom 4, bedroom 1, and bedroom 2, I think it was, or 3. Those all needed to be done. That's all our recommendations. There's not a huge amount of extras you're going to have to do on this house to bring it really up to snuff to where it's going to be a very nice home that you guys can live in that unit's going to last 25, 30 years. It'll be a great system for you. So If you want to do this other stuff, it can all be done after the fact. And so just give me a call and or tell the guys there. You'll have the quote here. I'm going to send that off here today so that you guys have it and then you can figure out if it's something you want to do. I will give you a discount if we do it while we're there doing the work, as opposed to having to come back and do it. So you'll get a little bit off of it if you do that. If we do the bounce airflow and add that second return in the ducts to the system. If you have any questions, call me. For those that are watching this, because I do post this on YouTube, um, hey, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.